Agenda item 11, discussion and possible action regarding ordinance 2010-10, amending chapter 2, articles 272 and 274 of the Town Code, further clarifying the town's indemnification requirements. Mr. Chenal.
There were some specific language changes that we were incorporated into this version versus the previous version, which clarified, I think, a few points that Councilman Coady has had. But except for that, I know there was some discussion on some of these substantive provisions. Nothing was changed other than the specific language of Councilman Coady, and I know others had agreed with that, with those changes. In the last meeting, I think the only issue left over, if you will, was, should the council decide whether indemnification is appropriate? And I'm struggling with that. My answer is yes. I still think the council should decide that issue because I don't know what the alternative is. I still think that, in my view, in some cases, it may be more appropriate to have a vehicle, the town council, make a decision on whether indemnification is appropriate. It says it has to be within the course and scope. Well, it becomes an impasse. I mean, it seems to me the better procedure is to have, the elected representatives, having a duty to, to apply the ordinance fairly, makes the determination. At least that's a level of a decision. And where if you note the way the ordinance is drafted, it's where there's an allegation of being within the course and scope. It triggers coverage. If it turns out that coverage is denied, and this is a conversation I had with Councilman Coady, we discussed this a few times. I mean, there would be a claim by that council person that the town did owe a duty of indemnification if it were denied, and would have a claim afterwards for damages, I would say, in the event that the indemnification were improperly denied. So, I mean, there is recourse.
Discussed this, and I very bluntly asked you, is this better than what we have? And I believe your answer to me was, yes, this is better than what we have now, and this is your recommendation as to what we should do.
Yes, it is.
That if indemnification was rejected as, let's say, a political gotcha, that the people that did that would be personally liable for that decision. And by doing that, convince me that you did a good job. This is well written. I commend you on that.
First of all, I believe, because I've been in this seat, indemnification should be automatic. All council members need to be protected from unfounded and frivolous charges. Indemnification should not be at the whim of the council or mayor, who could, for political reasons, either approve or deny. It has to be automatic. There is no other way that this thing is going to work.
Well, as I read this, and correct me if I'm wrong, it is automatic upon any filing or criminal allegation. It's automatic. Indemnification is automatic. The only time it comes before the council is when it's discretionary and it's pre those occurrences.
Where it's alleged that you were acting in the course and scope, then I think that is, I mean, that's where you should have the indemnification. Yeah, I think you need to come to the council, but I mean, if it's alleged that you're in the course and scope, and I will tell you that's normally the case. Why? Because you're indemnified, and because there's insurance. In a sense, this is automatic, but at some point, what if you determine that you are outside the course and scope? Then someone has to say there's no indemnity from this point on, or we're not going to pay the judgment, and it may not be covered by insurance. So, I mean, it may not be that the decision will be made, the ultimate decision will be made by the council at the front end. It may be that, and I would urge that any doubt be in favor of providing coverage and indemnification.
We've noodled this thing for a long time. Pure automatic I think has lots of room for abuse, where people could come in and say, I was doing something, the town should cover me. It opens the public checkbook to the council person who runs amok. But I think this is better than what we have because now it does cover criminal. Prior to this, we didn't cover criminal. I think it's a good thing, and I would recommend to the council that we take a vote on this to see if the council wishes to pass it. In my opinion, this is what we need. We should enact it now, and it is appropriate at some point to put a check on the amount, on what happens. And the council is the appropriate body to make that. So I encourage the council to adopt this.
I'll make a motion to approve item 11, ordinance number 2010-10, amending chapter 2, articles 2-7-2 and 2-7-4 of the town code, further clarifying the town's indemnification requirements.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to adopt resolution 2010-10. Ms. Wise, please call the roll. You'll have to randomize it because we're seated alphabetically.
Councilman Gilmore,
Yes.
Councilman Stabile,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vanek,
Yes.
Councilman Coady,
I just hope that the people that are on the council and future council people are aware of the predicament they could be in. I was in that predicament, and without automatic indemnification, no.
thank you. Councilman Codius,
Yes.
okay, Vice Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Mayor Schwan,
Yes.
motion carries.
6-1.
6-1.